Thanks for tuning in again to Broken Dolly TV with your host, me, Gypsy. If you're ready to get swifty in here, we're going to take a look at how I organize my dolls, and I wanted to show you guys my current method because it has changed since I moved to a new place and my storage configurations have changed. I'll tell you what I'm using and where you can find these things if you're interested in using similar items. They will be linked in my description box for your ease of access. Let's get started with how I'm deciding to store my dolls. So I used to have a dresser that I would use to do this, but I'm using the dresser for something else now, so I needed a different space to work this whole thing out. What I did was I went on Amazon and I ordered these black shelves. These things they're labeled as 5-tier shelves, and you get 2 for $50, and the height is a little bit shorter than me. I'm 5'1", and when I stand next to these shelves, they come to about up to my nose, so I'm a little taller than these shelves. The spacing is just enough that I can fit on each shelf one of these boxes that I got from the Dollar Tree for about $4 each. If you don't have a Dollar Tree nearby or can't get to a Dollar Tree, I'll have some links in my bio for similar containers that you could possibly order online and have them just drop it off at your doorstep. That being said, the spacing inside of these shelves, they can handle obviously more height than what my boxes here actually are, so you can get away with putting deeper, bigger, taller boxes in here. And the box that I have on the bottom of the shelf is like filling up almost the entire height of the shelf. I got the paper boxes from Walmart, so I also have links for you guys on where you can find those. They're basically like cardboard file cabinet kind of boxes, and if that works better for you, then you might want something like that instead. You can fit more dolls inside of it. But for me, I just wanted these clear totes because I can see through them and kind of get an idea of what's inside. And also, they look a lot neater than the file boxes that I was using to initially store my dolls in, because they were only in those boxes during my move here. And yes, for a year, I've already been in Oklahoma a year, you guys. I haven't gotten around to being able to sort my dolls the way that I want to. Finally, I got started doing that, and I wanted to share my process with you guys. Okay, apologies if you guys can hear any extra noise in the background. My son just got home from work and his friend is here blasting music outside. Anyway, continuing with the show. So let me show you how I kind of divvied everything up, okay? My first priority is with the actual dolls. First, I organized all of my body donors. You see here the tub says Easy Swap Body Donors. Of course, I have to label everything so I know what's inside. I'm not gonna just remember from looking at the box. The Easy Swap Body Donors are the ones where I already modified their neck pegs so that I can just pop heads on easily. You know, try out different bodies on different heads to see what combinations that I like. Anybody can do this. If you're interested in these bodies and you don't want to spend the money on the Barbie Basics line that introduced the bodies, feel free to check out my tutorial, which is linked in the info bar. See how you can do this yourself, because I'm showing you guys what I did to get the same functionality. So I basically separated a tote just for that, so that way I can easily find the bodies that have that feature. The next thing is my actual main female Barbies. I have those separated by their sculpts. So what I mean by that is in this tub you'll see it says single sculpts. That's how I indicate whether I only have one of that sculpt. So if I'm looking for a particular doll and I'm like this one here, where is my star doll? Then I know I only have one star doll, so I'm gonna go here and look for her. So that's what I mean by single sculpts. It's just easier for me to divide my dolls like this because this is the way that I remember categories of dolls easier. But you could do the same thing with, say, for example, maybe the skin tones of the dolls. You could separate your dolls that way. Body types that the dolls have, keep all your curvies, your talls, your whatever separately. But I can't do it like that because I very often swap bodies. So if I'm looking for a doll and she's on a curvy body this week, next week she might end up on a tall body. So I can't really look for the dolls that way. The next part of my categories is the multi-sculpts, which is the opposite of single sculpts. This just means that I have more than one of a sculpt. So if I have 2 or more of the same sculpt, they're going to end up in these 3 boxes here. And I just divided them up between 3 boxes because I have so many of them. Now, as you'll see there in the background, I have tons of dolls that are out on display. And obviously, I would need more boxes than what I have have here to keep every single one of my dolls in. But for the most part, there's always some dolls out on display, so I don't have to worry about, you know, there's not enough space for all the dolls to be able to go into these boxes. I would just get more boxes if I needed to pack them all up for some reason. Now let me show you the way I actually store them as well. Let's open this box. And here you can see that the way that I'm storing them, they're all nude. I don't want for my dolls to be wearing clothes, not because I'm worried about staining or damage or anything like that. It's because I need to be able to access the actual clothes. I don't use all the clothes that I have on most of my dolls because I don't like prints and loud colors, and that's pretty much all we get with Barbie dolls when they come with clothing. So I take them out of the clothes when I store them, because if they are wearing clothes that I need for display, like neutral tones, blacks and whites, metallics, those kinds of colors is what I'm usually going for, earth tones, I don't want them to be on a doll that's stashed away that I'm not seeing out here. So that's why I keep them nude. And you'll see that they have like tape around them. This is masking tape, which is very easy to remove, and I folded it in half so the adhesive is not stuck on the doll. I'm basically holding down the hair, kind of like how when we get our dolls and they're in the box and like they're all kind of tagged down to the box. This way their hair doesn't get messy and tangled and just be a hot mess inside of the boxes. Everybody's hair is just flying all over the place, because that to me is such a nuisance and so aggravating to try to like sort. And then when I take a doll out and I'm trying to do her hair, then I end up having to give her a boil wash and all this nonsense, and I'm too lazy for that. I don't want to do all this extra work. So I basically stored as many dolls that needed that as possible like this, so that if they have long hair, it's kind of tame while they're in storage. And you go digging around in the box looking for stuff, so I don't want their hair to get all crinkly. All right, so we've got our multi sculpts, and then we've got our single sculpts here where you see A, B, and C on the labels. That doesn't really have any significant meaning. I just separated them by letters just so that I know that I have 3 boxes like this of dolls. Like the dolls inside the box are not in some special order. Although I do have my made to move dolls in A and B, and my non-made to move dolls are down there in C, just to further, sort them a little bit. But that's really irrelevant. It doesn't really matter if they're all mixed up. Anyway, the next category I have is the male variants. I just labeled them as variants because they're not all Barbies, as you can kind of see through the box. I have dolls for the males that are like action figures, Barbie brand, Integrity brand. They're kind of mixed up all together. I don't have as many male dolls as I do female dolls. So these are the guys that are just hanging out in storage right now. And most of my guys are actually out on display. I filmed a video recently where I showed you guys the bulk of my male doll collection. So if you saw that video, then you know what I'm talking about. If you missed it, go back and watch that one. It's only a few videos ago. And then in this box, I have my non-Barbie dolls and my child variant dolls, which basically is dolls that have, now I'm going by the heads, okay, not by the bodies. Some of them do have Barbie bodies, as you can see right through the box, but I don't really consider that how I categorize them. I do everything by the heads and the sculpts, because the bodies could always change. This box basically indicates that I've got dolls in here whose heads don't belong to Barbie brand, basically. So I've got some Pretty Girls dolls in here. Remember those? Yeah, I still have mine. I've got my Wakanda Forever doll in here. Oh my god, Julissa. I don't even consider her part of my actual active collection. She's actually a character that I had on my Broken Barbie show. If you guys have been with me that long, you know exactly who Julissa is. She's so fugly. Oh my god. I don't even know what kind of doll this is, y'all. Do y'all recognize this doll? I rerouted her hair because it was a hot ass mess. Gave her a Barbie body and thought maybe I would do something with her, but I found her in a thrift store just looking a mess. And she was interesting looking to me because of her inset eyes. They're so big, but I've not really done much with that doll. Here we have Jasmine from the Disney store, classic doll series or whatever they're called. We've got Miss RuPaul down here. This was a gift from my homie Alfonso. And actually a lot of these dolls in here were gifts from him because he sent me a bunch of, like a whole box full of, like this one, Integrity Toys heads. I found some made to move bodies for them and they're living in my collection now. Who else is down here? I see Moana down there and this big old head down here that a vendor had sent to me a little while back. She's cute, but she's the only doll I have that's like that, so I don't really know what to do with her. She comes with all these different like posable hands. It's really cool. So in this tote here, I'm keeping all my miscellaneous fashions. So we have like a little box that has all of my male shoes in it. These are costumes from the Cutie Reveal series. Just some like random clothes that I haven't had a chance to sort and categorize yet, because normally I keep them in these photo boxes and they're organized by clothing type. And then up here at the top, I've got some little smaller containers that have dolls that need repair or customizations, and other body donors where I didn't alter the neck pegs to make them easy swaps. So this is basically it. I've basically categorized all of my dolls that are in storage so that I can find them easier. I keep them tagged with names so that I can remember their names easier. Some people have been asking me, like, how do you know what your dolls' names are? There's so many of them. You're right, I don't know all of them off the top of my head. Dolls that I handle more often than others, I remember their names. And dolls that I named after other people, like this one, Zazie. I know a real girl named Zazie who I named her after, and this doll was a gift from my friend Tevin. This is the doll here up on the screen. I could not find her anywhere, and Tevin's local stores had a bunch of her, so he ended up sending me one. I have a bunch of dolls here that are like gifts from him, and I'm gonna make a separate video showing you guys my process for that, how I keep track of them, because I have a 3-point system that I use to keep track of the doll names. It's not just this labeling here that I do, it's like a whole thing. So I'll show you guys that in a different video, but that's also part of the system, is to make sure that my dolls have their names tagged on their bodies so that they're easy for me to identify and find. And that just makes it easier for me to kind of identify which doll I'm dealing with at any given time by having names for them. Not all of my dolls have names. I do need to go through all the nameless dolls and give them names. I mean, to some people it doesn't matter. They don't care about naming their dolls, but I do, because I don't know, just something about giving them names makes them feel more real to me. They have personalities, and like helps me decide how to dress them, because I want them to look like a reflection of their actual personalities, I guess. It just helps me to do that. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why I have these dolls like here. This is like a strange place to have them. They're here temporarily. I just left them here so I could show you guys everything in the lighting in this room. But I'm actually planning on moving these shelves into a different room for storage purposes, because I don't want to see them out here looking all cray cray. You guys won't be seeing the shelving unit in future videos where I'm just filming in this area. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. This is a really easy way for you to categorize your dolls. The system that I'm using with the shelves and the boxes, you don't have to do it like this. You can do a variant of this by using dresser drawers, plastic drawers, you know, different kinds of boxes than what I'm using here. Plain boxes like this. You can decorate the box if you want. There's so many different ways you can do this. I just wanted to share how I'm like categorizing them and the condition that I keep them in with like the nude bodies. That just makes it more streamlined, I guess. Not all of the sorting is complete. I've done the multi-sculpt dolls, and you'll see down here I do have a doll that's got clothes on. I have 3 of the goddesses dolls from that collection that was sent to me by my good friend Bratney, who is, oh my god, her doll collection is insane, you guys. She's got thousands of dolls. Thousands. She called me up one day and she was like, I want to put you in my will so you can inherit all my dolls when I'm gone, because she has no kids. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, where would I even put all these dolls? She's got so many dolls she's been collecting forever. But yeah, she sends me dolls every once in a while. But anyways, those dolls that she sent me, I keep them in their original clothes because they're so beautiful and such good quality. I can't bring myself to take the dolls out of that state that they come in. Even though I'm an out-of-box collector who loves to customize my dolls, I don't know, I just can't do it with them. I keep them stored with all their things on, and then when I display them, obviously I don't change them out of their clothes. They just stay like that in their goddess dresses. You know, I'll show you guys some pictures up here of how they're supposed to look. And in the future, when I do have these dolls out on display, because I'm soon going to change my display around too, but I want to have like a dedicated, I don't like to display those dolls with other dolls. I just want them to have their own dedicated shelf, kind of like that one way up at the top. That doll is wearing the Styled by Design number 2 doll's dress. She just stays up there. That's my mini me up there wearing that outfit. But yeah, doing it like this helps me to keep everything organized when I get ready to put a doll away into storage, because her turn on display is over. Then I'll strip her of all the clothes that she's wearing, and then I will tape her hair down if she's got loose hair, which you guys can also use different things. I used masking tape just because that's what I had around, and I can adjust the length of the tape depending on the doll's size. You can do the same thing with elastic bands. You can braid the hair. You can do it however you want to do it. But yeah, I just needed a way to tame the hair while the doll was in storage. So that's my system. It's very simple. I'm too lazy for a complex system, although I know some of you guys are looking at this going like, what do you mean it's not complex? You got all these different categories. Girl, you got time to be sorting them dolls? Well, yeah, because I don't work. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So in between my chores, I have time to do all of this. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm autistic. I love sorting and organizing things. Like, that's fun to me. So like, give me some papers to file. I will just stay busy for hours and totally lose track of time, seriously. If you are interested in any of the items that you see me talking about here, you can go ahead and check out my links below, where I've linked either the exact items I'm using or something very similar that you can get your hands on and order online. And of course, like I said, these boxes, I found them at the Dollar Tree, okay? They weren't $1. They were more than $1, but that's where I got them from. And they had a bunch of different kinds of boxes too. Like, I just picked these designs, but they had other kinds like this baskety kind of box down here. I got those from the same place. I think they were the same price. And also these tubs up here, the smaller ones, same thing I got from the dollar store. So there's a lot of options if you have the Dollar Tree nearby to go and check out. I'll link you guys the stuff you can buy from Amazon, Target, or Walmart that are similar to this as well. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next one. My device is about to die, so I need to go and charge it. My name is Gypsy. Thanks so much for checking this out with me. It's a little bit more of an informational video than what I normally do, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a dolly day.